Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Hello, 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 hello. My name is Clara. I am the co-founder. Oops, we're having there. Oh, God. Oh, there we go. There we go. My apologies there. Welcome, Theresa. Welcome, Trish. Welcome, everybody. Thank you. How are you, ladies?
Tired.
But it's a good tired.
It's a good tired. It's been really good. It's been really good.
It's been fun, but it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So can we just start right off the bat? Teresa, which one was your favorite part?
Networking.
Ah,
Sitting at tables with people you don't know, walking around talking to people that I've never met. I love the networking part.
oh, that's amazing. And what is yours, Trish?
I don't know. Actually, it's not the people I don't know. It's all the people that we see all the time on our YouTubes and that we see in Mastermind. Those people all being together, that's really been the highlight for me.
Yeah.
I love meeting new people, but, seeing these people who have made, that we talk to all the time, it's great to
Right.
see them in person.
That's networking too.
Yeah, it is.
It's all
It's
networking.
networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just in case, beautiful community, my name is Clara. I'm the co-founder of List Perfectly. Here is Trish, amazing director of events and education, and our number one first user and amazing director of seller engagement, Theresa Cox. So, together, the three of us, we're going to bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly. eBay open in person and virtual. Yes, you heard it right and clear. Okay. I was on the virtual part. Okay. So we'll talk about it later. Okay. So why don't we start with the good news first? Okay. So let's talk about it. This is biggest. They come back to eBay. Last year was virtual, so it was a big comeback for them to do it in person and attempted to do a virtual. I'll explain later why I said attempted, but this is their big birthday, their big 30 years. Happy birthday, eBay! 30 years in business, that defies all odds, just like List Perfectly. Companies usually are supposed to, corporations like that are supposed to last 20 years on a marketplace. Usually, it's like 15 years. So congratulations to eBay for exceeding the expectations. More than one investor on the early days that might have said not. There might be like, no. So congratulations. From as a co-founder from List Perfectly, I understand what is to defy the odds and projections from analysts and business analysts and financial analysts. So other than that, okay, we had Jamie Iannoni, then we have the incredible eBay team coming in person to Vegas. This was amazing. They chose a great way to try to come back to their glory days when they had the first, back in the day. I can't remember. What was it called, Theresa? It wasn't before they came. Yes, exactly. Yep, exactly. That's what Amanda also used to attend. And it was a lot of very reseller centric, so it was a great intent to strategize to go back to that method. So we're going to start right now, right off the bat. We're going to go because we want to go right away, okay, to the announcements. Let's talk about a little on the announcement, mostly on the in-person, that Jamie and his team, eBay team, touched on. And the first one is one that, don't I wish I could be a reseller right now with typical, what are the measurements? What color is this? So what do you think about AI messaging assistant?
Go ahead. I'm interested to see what you say.
I think it's good. I know that some people are like, oh, I don't want eBay answering for me, blah, blah, blah. And I just want to say, embrace the AI, people. It's not going away. eBay's only going to respond to a message if the information is in your listing. So all that stuff that we hate, read the listing, blah, blah, blah. I wish Facebook would do this.
I know.
I know. Don't I?
Items still available? Yes. Yeah. So then, so I think it's going to be a good thing. As always, we have to see what it looks like when it rolls out. But from what they talked about, I think it's going to be a good thing.
And I know, I believe Crystal and Susie, who are part of our group, they both were in the beta for that.
Okay.
And they both really liked it. So they
Wow.
thought it was a really good, something that really helped them both. So that's interesting also to have some firsthand experience. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yep.
For me, as a vintage seller, clothing seller, it was annoying when people, because one of the things that helps determine the difference between modern items and vintage is the weight, okay? The weight of real shearling, the weight of, thick, the vintage leather is thicker. So that was a key question. And they would be like, what's the weight? And I would have it on the description. I would have it, on the part, for the shipping. I would have it in so many places. And oh God, or you have like, what color is this? And the color is there, or typical, does it have a zipper, and you're like, it's in item descriptions, and it's in the description of the listing. So for me, it's going to be a win-win situation. So resellers can focus on real questions such as, hey, something that maybe you missed out on the description. One of the things that means resellers that you're really going to need to list perfectly, because if you put the wrong detail, then the AI from eBay is going to be saying yes. And guess what? You're going to sell it. And then when you get an item not as described, I don't think you're going to have a chance disputing that one. So that's going to force you resellers to be more careful when creating listings and any item specifics that are optional or mandatory, or something that could help you close the sale without a return or without a case.
Well, and I think that's something that's really related to this is the offers and messaging. So now, instead of having the offers outside in its own thing, it's going to be in that listing, in that flow. Sorry, not in the listing flow, but in that flow of the back. So I think that's interesting. I'm really interested to see what it looks like in person, because I hate when I get an offer and you can't see the listing and you have to go out and find the listing and see it. See where there's somebody who you take $20 for this. Well, I don't even know how much it is at the moment. I got to go figure out how much it was. So I'm hoping once they bring the offers into messages that this is going to be, so
it will. Yeah, it will.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see the whole thing. Desiree said the flow is great. Desiree, do you already have access? Looks like the Macari chat. Ooh, interesting. See, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I talked to a couple of the different team members asking them like what it's going to be like. And they recognize all the same things we're talking here. And they, so it's the same thing. Like they said the same thing. You don't have to go out and find it. It's going to be all there. Eventually they'll roll it out to mobile. There's so many things that some things are rolling out to mobile first and some things are rolling out to desktop first. So I forget which is which. So I may misspeak sometimes, but whatever rolls out first, they recognize that on mobile, at least for offers, you can't see what your previous offer was.
Right. Now, money. So T-Money, okay, Numbers Geek, okay, on Instagram, that's her, yes, that she chose that one, okay. So T-Money, what is your perspective now with cost of goods? And, you explained me so eloquently why they call it a certain way. So go ahead and explain me that, please.
Okay, so let me just tell, let me just say up front, I am not the only person that has been asking for cost of goods and eBay listing flow, but I know I've been asking for at least 10 years. Because in 2015 at We Are 20, I had a very specific conversation with Scott Hamilton, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, over the years, every year at Boss, they had the little sticky thing. I put cost of goods in listing flow. Anytime I'm on a call, cost of goods in listing flow, blah, blah, blah. So when they announced, and I was under an NDA, but I did find out earlier from somebody, and he asked me some questions. But I said, I'll believe it when I see it, David. And so when they announced it, I'd totally forgotten about it. So when they announced it, a couple of people messaged me in LinkedIn that I've been talking to, and these people left like eBay. And so they're like, it finally happened. And people text me. So it's happening. We all know what it is. Cost of goods is COGS. It's going to be in the listing flow. But the thing that surprised me that if you would have asked me this 6 months ago, I would have said, no, they're not going to ever flow it through to the reports, which is what I was really wanting 10 years ago. And I found out that they are going to do it. Now, in the reports, it's not going to be called net profit because
Okay.
they said the eBay's logic behind that is we don't know what your net profit is. They're going to call it quarterly earnings, which is a takeoff of public traded companies and your quarterly earnings report. So that makes me wonder, are they not going to give it to us by month? Is it only going to be a quarterly number? So I don't know what that's going to look like. That's going to roll out later, but it is going to happen. So I was happy to hear that. I would have bet it wasn't happening. So
Wow.
the room did cheer. Everybody was very happy to see it. That's why I say I know I'm not the only person to ask for it. That was my personal journey of me finally happy to see it.
All right. So that's a great take, Theresa, and thank you for explaining. I think that yes, quarterly earnings, it's a very vague term in order to, call something that is profit. But like we said, we don't know if it's going to be net, gross, anything like that. So that's just interesting. So the next topic that I just want to briefly talk about was very interesting. Of course, I wasn't in person, but of course I have my informants. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not only Trish and Theresa. Okay. There is more. Okay. So my informants told me about inventory mapping API. So I'm going to just resume it. Okay. I'm going to keep it simple. So API is a technology invented the year I was born, 1974. And what they're doing pretty much is this API is like pretty much like being tethered to eBay in order to transfer data. So, this technology, now eBay is gonna make, okay, this is the part that I'm like, this is the reason, ladies, that I created List Perfectly. 15 years ago, all right, whether it was, I think, a Sellbrite, I can't remind me, they were services, but they were $1,000 a month. So these tools are always created for bigger sellers. So it's interesting. If I was a bigger company, it's not oriented for resellers. And if you're a reseller, you might be a high volume reseller, definitely. But it's mostly geared to help. Bigger, I'm talking about people that sell like at least 10,000 variations of one product, or at least 1,000 variations of the same product minimum, okay? And that's one listing that they have. These are big sellers, usually like 100,000 or more listings, okay? So they will have this technology, will help them not only create the listing, which is something that the AI from eBay is not very strong. Those of you, I tested it on mobile, hoping that would be better. We tested with Trish and Theresa also on desktop. Obviously, this is a marketplace. This is why List Perfectly has the best AI, because it's trained to think like a reseller. Marketplaces somehow struggling, to create and optimize AI. So if you are a big seller, which I don't think you are my audience, but anyways, if you're watching there and you're one of these bigger companies, yes, go ahead and solicit. Yeah, there is a new API where you can list your website and either your listing, whatever listing service you're using, or even spreadsheets, but we're talking about huge amounts of data. And this will be super mega fast and completely geared for bigger sellers. Hopefully, eBay will do like List Perfectly and trickle down that technology once they perfect it to smaller resellers. That's my hope, eBay. Okay, so hey, that was my time, my Clara time about this. Now back to you, ladies. With which tool do you think will impact sellers the most so far?
Which new tool that they've announced? I think that the offers and messaging is going to make people's lives easier.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll help with time management, not having to spend time managing the business and actually doing some things like listing and shipping and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
I really do. I think that's going to help. I also think the AI messaging assistant, that could really save you a lot of time.
I love that one.
Depending on how many questions you're fielding a day. And there are some people who field a lot of questions every day. So this really could open up, more time for them.
Oh, Desiree says the 3-day item not as described and out of feedback. I think that's interesting. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Sure.
Yeah. So I'll take this one.
Go ahead.
So I mean, I've had my current account for 28 years. I looked yesterday. I have 8,500 feedback. I've never cared about feedback. I still don't really care about
Oh
feedback.
my God, I love feedback.
And I actually tried to find the guy that was speaking to ask him, like, why did this come about? But it did. And what it's going to do is, like, like on Poshmark, where after so many days, if the buyer doesn't respond back, eBay is going to put some automatic feedback up there, help us raise our numbers on feedback, so people that do look can have a better sense of.
So there's a couple of caveats. It begins in September, mid-September, but
that's nice for Q4. Yeah,
it's awesome for Q4. Which when a seller uses, I'd say for U.S. sellers who use track services that are delivered on time within your handling window and have no issues reported. If after 3 days, I believe, after that, then eBay will leave positive feedback. So it's not
automatic.
It's not automatic. It's after 3 days. And if you follow those other things, if you're using a tracking service, 99% of us are, so that's fine. It delivers on time. So if the post office says it's going to be there between the 15th and the 18th, it has to be in that window. Right. And that the buyer has not said there's any issues. So that is, I think, a great thing. And I think Desiree just put something in I think that's absolutely right.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sellers build a reputation faster than they would without it. The thing for me that I like about it is when we get a bad feedback, I do not care about negative feedback. Okay. I actually subscribe to the issue. I actually subscribe to the idea that if you have 100% positive feedback, it looks fake. I think having a negative, there is actual data from eBay that says, especially of a certain age and younger, they don't expect anyone to have 100. We live in this idea of the, what's when you go in and you leave your review?
Yeah. Keyboard warrior.
Yeah. So they expect a little of that. And so, but what this will do is you'll get a negative and then you'll immediately have positives after it. Right. So even if you still get the negative, which we're all going to eventually, you'll still get those positives pop up. So I think that's a really great thing.
Absolutely.
I would like to talk about the other thing Desiree said, which was the INAT issue. Okay. So I don't know exactly what she's talking. Well, is she talking about the INR protections, do you think?
Go ahead.
Desiree, so beginning in October, eBay is implementing a new measure to ensure sellers aren't penalized for shipping delays outside of their control, right? So I ship it within my window and it doesn't get there when it's supposed to. We would always have to, that could cause an issue. Now, what happens is if you ship it on time and it's within your window,
right?
And so I'm shipping something to Theresa. It gets lost in New York. She doesn't get it in Arizona when she's supposed to. Theresa says, I don't have it. Puts into
item not received.
Item not received.
Yeah, I am not as received. Not received.
Item not as received case. eBay gives her money back. I'm out the money. I'm out the shipping. It shows up at
item.
No, in the money.
You got the money. You said I'm out the money in the shipping.
Oh, money in the item.
Yeah.
It shows up at Theresa's house 3 days later. Yeah. At that point, that used to be an issue, right? Because then now eBay will give us the money at that point. That is
eBay.
Yeah.
I always did that, but I have to appeal, and sometimes you have to go through 4 different eBay employees in order to get that, because I would be like, I'm not Target.
Well, and now they're saying it will be automatic, that we don't have to ask for it, that it will happen automatically. And then they're also saying that they will take away any negative feedback. So Theresa leaves me a negative. They'll also take that.
Of people that come like thinking that we're Walmart or Target. I'm like, no, you can't do that, or they have that Amazon mentality, that Amazon buyer mentality, right? Trying to pull a fast one. If I had a penny for every time a person opened, item not received, and I would be like, what happened, Trish? And they would be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it would come to you. And I'm like, what do you think? You know, I said,
I think there's like big
yeah,
organizations.
they're going to eBay and then just give me a refund. I didn't get it, but they're not going to hurt the reseller. So that's where I think it's important to describe always on there is a least perfectly description footer in which you can say, you know, if for some reason you're not happy with your transaction or purchase, please message me. And it's important that you inform buyers and educate buyers because they're coming with bad habits.
I just want to say one thing also, and Katie just texted me to make sure I said this because I forgot. You have to be using an eBay label. So this is eBay labels only. So if you're doing shipping outside of the eBay listing, I mean, outside of the eBay flow, if you're using Pirate Ship or...
Yeah, I was going to say, so if I'm using Pirate Ship, any of those other ones?
No, this is within eBay labels only.
Well done, strategist of eBay, to put resellers to use more of your shipping. Wow, interesting. That's very well played. Wow.
I think the other thing to keep in mind as sellers, so when you get a refund, you're not going to get, if they refunded the buyer $50, you're not going to get that $50 back. You're going to get the item cost. eBay's still going to take out the shipping that you paid. eBay's still going to take out the eBay fees. So keep that in mind, because the first one you might look at and go, wait, they shorted me.
Katie just texted me again and said, so maybe at least use eBay labels for higher value items so that you have some protections. So if you're somebody who uses eBay or Pirate Ship, that you still are you doing it's a good idea. It's a
very smart. You're protected. You might be paying a little more than Pirate Ship, but the peace of mind that you will get that something goes wrong and you're protected by eBay. So I think it's worth it, even if you pay a little more. That's like, and I love the strategy from Katie. Use it for items that are more expensive or items that you think that are fragile, anything like that.
So another thing that eBay announced was unpaid items. So buy it now transactions require immediate payments. 99% of those transactions are paid immediately, eBay is saying. For best offer, though, we all know that you make a best offer, that doesn't necessarily show up. Best offers now must have a payment method on file. So they're hoping
before they can make the offer.
Yes. And they're starting to do this for auctions. So they are now going to have people have to pre-register for an auction and have a payment on file to be able to make So we're not going to have those 3 days for them to have to supposedly pay. So that is the only caveat is combined shipping, right? I think you still have a couple of days to do that.
Yeah, I forget what the time frame is, but they are allowing you to have an option. I think it's 24 hours, so that if you want to buy something else in that 24 hours, it will combine that. I don't do a lot of combined shipping things, so I didn't really clue in on that, but that they are thinking about that.
Yep.
But I love this auction bidder verification that now phone and ID for high ticket bids to cut fake buyers. Oh, I'm loving it. I am loving it. Really like that, because there is a lot of issues with fake bidding, and then after the bidding is done, they won and like, oh, I'm sorry, my cat was pressing the bid up key and it wasn't me, so it was exhausting. So that's, I think, is a very smart thing to do in order to avoid what was it called, shilling or so, I don't know whatever.
Shilling, shill bidding. Shill bidding. The next thing I want to talk about is this is I just want to make sure before I say this out loud, I want everyone to hear me when I say this. This is not across eBay at the moment. This is in one category. This is a very small category of thing that we're going to talk about. No returns accepted enforcement is changing, but they're starting on a very small scale, and they're starting with as-is listings that are for parts or not working. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Finally, yes. Let's end scam. Well done. Oh, this isn't working. And you're like, it says on the listing.
So for these right now, so it's a very small amount of people who are going to be, this is going to help right now. But if you have an item that is
that's listed as not
working or
as is
or for parts only, they're not going to take the returns if they put in a claim, they used to have 30 days to do it. It's going to go down to 3
days.
Finally, yes. Why giving 30 days? That's literally just enabling buyer remorse, which is what you want to protect resellers from. So I think this is very, very fair. It's standard across other marketplaces. So well done, eBay, for making something that is a given on other, and I'm not talking about other marketplaces like in I'm talking about when you go to Target, Amazon, etc. It's like that over there too. So I'm really happy about these changes to avoid buyer remorse, because I'm exhausted of getting those item not as described when actually it's buyer remorse.
Well, and one of the things, but it's not going to affect us yet. It's really not. It's very specific right now.
Yeah.
So I really think they're trying it to see what will happen.
Exactly.
So this may get rolled out further down the line. But
they started with the toughest category, Trish. So I really kudos Team eBay, because I love it. You're starting with the toughest category so they can really absorb the project and see if it's going to help eBay buyers and sellers. So they have to really make sure it helps the three of them.
And the other thing they're doing is they're making messaging more prominent. So if you have an as-is sale and it says 4 parts are not working, it is going to be prominent on the listing. It's going to, I think, have some red flags or something.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Non-returnable item.
Yep.
So it is an interesting thing. And I also think that what's interesting about it is they're also going to try to steer them to if it's remorse, it will immediately be denied. Yeah.
And there is a nice questionnaire. The way they do it, there is a nice questionnaire so they can help determine. And now with AI, it's really good because it adapts to the answer. So literally, if you're doing buyer remorse, you will fall for it. 99% of the cases will be detected by the questions that eBay will be asking. So I'm really, really, really excited to reduce that, because it's very costly to us resellers.
Yep. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Another thing that was announced, those are kind of like the big announcements. Mm-hmm. But another thing that got announced was they're changing eBay meetups or eBay meetings. They're changing the name to seller circles. So Theresa and I both have our own seller circle. I feel like a Victorian woman with a sewing circle.
But I mean, I get it. Like we keep calling them Meetup, but Meetup is a trademarked other company, and eBay doesn't like that. Like, they wouldn't call them Meetups. They wouldn't, I don't know. We can have stuff on the Meetup.com site, but eBay needs to have their own stuff. So that's why we have the platform we have. But anyway, I understand them getting away from it. The sellers, the now seller circles voted on it, so that's how we got the seller circles name.
Yep. So we all got little shirts that say community leader, seller circle, and everything. So
hey, I went to the party last night and I talked to 2 people that want to start a meetup.
Oh, good.
I know.
Nice. There you go. Hey, before we move on, thank you, Tommy. Okay, I made it popular. All those people saying, "Hey, Vicuna, I'm the original one of the Vicuna." Thank you. Yes, after I made it public, now everybody's like, "You should be looking for Vicuna." Yeah, I was doing that 19 years ago. But anyway, thank you. That's my little claim to fame. Go ahead, ladies.
So the whole thing so I thought that was great. There was a lot about community. eBay really seems to be leaning into that right now. I know, but it seemed more this year to me.
Yeah, they're making some changes.
They're making some changes. And I would like to say that we had a really big presence. LP did. We really did. We had a lot of people. We had a really great group photo taken on the second day. There was a lot of us there, and we're loud and obnoxious and fun, and we had a really great time. And so, everyone who was there, thank you guys for coming. It was great. And I hope if you weren't there that maybe, think about coming to a live event, because they really are, they're awesome. But I thought eBay really was leaning into community. They did talk about their advocacy efforts. They did talk about what they do on Government Hill. And
so then another big announcement, because I love the government relations program. It's fun for me. But the other big thing, because this came up on Pat's call this morning, was the seller 1099 limits. Congress passed that, reverted it, whatever they had to do. It is now $20,000 and 200 transactions, back to where it was in 2020 before this whole thing started. And so just know that, and that is effective this year. So 2025, if you don't sell $20,000 worth of stuff and 200 transactions, then you will not get a 1099 from any platform. So if you sell 2 whatever luxury bags at $10,000 each, you're not getting a 1099.
Yep, that's incredible. That is just about time.
200 transactions. So if you sell 4 bags at $10,000 each, you're not getting a 1099. You have to sell 200 items.
That isn't what I heard her say.
That's the rule. I know.
No, I know. I believe you. I just didn't. I didn't hear that.
That has been the rule. That was the rule for 25 years, and then we had this little bump where things got all screwed up, and now it's back to where it was.
Theresa, don't you think that would be the one that comes first? Let's say I sold 1 bag. Okay, for. Nope. Are you sure? Okay.
It has to do with. So I asked.
Debate moment.
Because I don't want people telling me I'm wrong, but I did ask the guy at the government relations, because it intellectually, I understand the difference when people say, oh, you have to report all income, that's $600. But I told him, I don't know how to articulate that. And the simplest way I can say from what he explained to me is that there are several different kinds of 1099 income. There's a 1098K, there's a 1099S, there's a 1099. So this falls into whatever one of those 1099 is that allows you to do $20,000 and 200 transactions. So, and it has something to do with small business. Don't quote me. I'm probably going to regret that I'm saying this on the internet, but it has to do with, like, let's say, your aunt dies and she had I don't know, bags, but whatever, bags that were $10,000 each. She is not a small business when she's selling something that's just 4 items. And just because there are 4 high-end items that go $40,000, that does not make her a small business. Now, I don't know the tie. I don't know the logistics of but it has to do with the definition of a small business. So just forget all that. You have to have 200 transactions and at least gross sales of $20,000.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, T. Okay. Wow. T. There you have it. That was a good debate moment.
Not really. I didn't really debate. I was like, okay. I just thought
the debate will happen after this airs, and people want to go.
Exactly.
For the most part, I will agree with him. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So they did talk a little bit about their own marketing, eBay's marketing, and that they're really leaning into partnering with influencers, micro influencers, and major influencers. And that they're going to focus also, again, we've heard this for a long time and it never seems to come to fruition, in my opinion, that they are going to be focusing on live selling. The live selling they do right now.
They had the Backstreet Boys yesterday. How much more focus do you want?
I want regular sellers to be able to do it.
I know.
Not just the Backstreet Boys. Yeah. So you guys, the Backstreet Boys were there. Well, 3 of them. 3 of the Backstreet Boys were there. There's 2 of them are missing.
Oh, I don't know Backstreet.
So the 3 Backstreet Boys came. Nick, AJ, and Brian. Those guys. The 3 of them were there. I have some really good photos because Patrick, one of our friends, stood up in the very front and waited. I said to him the night before, I heard a rumor that the Backstreet Boys are going to be here. And he goes, you're lying to me. I go, I'm not. I said, it's a rumor. I said, but I got it from an eBay person, so I'm pretty sure it's true. And he goes, you're lying. So the next morning we get there and I said, they're coming at 11:30. Again, he says to me, you're lying to me. I said, I'm not. Next thing I know, he's up the front where they're going to be. And he stood there for 2 hours. So we have lots of good photos that I'll share with you guys. So funny. But they were there. They did some live selling. They cracked open some card breaks,
cards.
And so our peers asked, did they mention if they will start allowing cryptocurrencies for payment in the near future? They did not.
No, not yet, not yet. But the way first has to be authorized by the big boss in the U.S. So I would say that will take a while. It's highly regulated, especially for a publicly traded company. But I'm not surprised if they're going to bring it soon as it's approved by the feds.
Yeah. See,
That's beyond, in other words, that's beyond eBay control. It's not eBay saying, oh, I don't want crypto, okay? This is beyond eBay's control. One thing that I just want to talk about real quick is and I read this in different ways, okay, with the open banking financing, which is better credit offers by eBay partnering with other financials and banking institutions. The only part that concerns me is that they're going to be sharing, okay, I'm not sure how they're going to be doing, but they're pretty much going to be sharing your data, okay, with financial institutions. They're going to start with UK and Germany first.
I thought you could opt out.
Yeah, this
the US later this year. Go ahead, Trish.
I think you can opt out. I think there's an opt out.
Yes, but you know that those opt outs usually sometimes don't work, and that's how data. And then they send you an apology. Oh, we're so sorry. Data by mistake was just, shared, so it's just hard, so I'm wondering, that was my only concern as someone that worked in banks, and then the only other thing related with banking that I like, okay, is the express payout to bank accounts, okay, instant transfers to banks, okay, just a $2 fee. I thought that was
pretty good. Yeah.
I thought that was really good.
The other thing was they're changing.
Sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. Desiree, people behave, okay? No, we're not going to talk about Backstreet Boys finances, okay?
So I went to Desiree, behave.
Need side income, Backstreet Boys? Okay, start reselling.
Well, here's the thing. They were playing at the Sphere, so they're in town. So it's not like eBay flew them in.
And it was only 3 of them. They were cheaper. Sorry. Let me just say this.
Behave, okay, everybody.
I went to a session. One of the sessions that I went to was put on by Google and eBay together. And it was about eBay search and about how to get further up in search, but also how to make sure you're indexed on Google.
Yeah.
And it was really a very interesting, I'm going to do something about it next week at Mastermind, maybe, or the week after. I took videos of all the stills that they put up. It was really interesting. But one of the things, I just want to make sure that nobody is putting words or watermarks on their photos.
Oh, they do. I see it all the time. I even had to sit down with Matthew, CEO of Photo Room, and say, Matthew, you need to reconsider getting that photo room. I love it. You get free photo room, but he puts his watermark. So, you're giving more free background removals, but then you're giving me the background, the watermark, and that just ruins my optimization of my listing to be indexed on Google. So I like it that they're going to release an AI tool. I hope it's not the same one that they use for creating listings, but they're going to use an AI tool to remove the watermarks.
Okay, that is just being started. There's no way that's not year. They're thinking 2026 for that, the end of 2026.
I was like, wait. No. If for listings took you so long, okay.
So that is not yet. So the other thing about that is I just want to, he had a graph and he had photos, okay? And it was of garden hoses. And so, did you see it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this garden hose was just like a garden hose with a white background. This one was made in the USA, ships from Texas, whatever. This one was on a background that had like other stuff in the back. And he had all of these garden hoses and it showed which ones got clicked and which ones didn't. And the ones that got clicked were almost exclusively white or like light gray background. And just the hose, nothing else. no outside shot, no car being washed, just
I'll never forget when I went to FlipCon and I sit down with a big group of resellers. It was at least 30 resellers. Clara, we can prove you that we can use our own personalized backgrounds, and we're selling more on Google. And I was like, really? Okay. I wanna see that. Yeah, I would love to be in touch and I'll follow up, but this is epic. I'll include different backgrounds, like more customized. I'm talking about like a wall of bricks, okay, a brick wall. I'm talking about, when you do like a wooden floor, okay, a wooden door, things like that, a mantle. So, again, I would have invested long time ago if that was the truth. We have research, like I always say, one of the jobs that we have in List Perfectly is to produce listings that buyers want to click right away to buy and make that purchase decision. So I'm glad that they were showing, how lighter or white backgrounds are the ones are performing in Google when after indexation. Well, in Google, because you've not indexing. Well,
yeah. So that was good. It was an interesting. The whole thing was interesting.
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I just needed to say something to the room.
Okay.
So I wanted to go to the Google thing specifically to find out about this white background, because I've been using white backgrounds, and I know from the last time Google was at eBay Open, like this is what you need to do. But that was 6 years ago. Right. So I was really happy to see that is still the thing. The guy that would Pete that did the presentation, I just lost the title. He is the something architect. Like he is the guy at eBay, search architect, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
That knows this stuff. So I was happy that he was the one putting this on. I was happy to see that it's still white background. So this is a sword I will die on. So all the people that say, oh no, I put this up and I get better search. No, you don't. You just think you do. So I don't care if that's on the internet forever.
What about so eBay? I just want to get out of a script because this was funny. Okay, what about eBay announcing their AI to create listings automatically? Or what was it? Automated. What was it?
It's I forget what they call it, but yeah, they're gonna do. Here's the thing: AI was talked about a lot here. And it kind of fell flat on the room And I just thought to myself, there's a lot of people here that don't understand AI and what it can do and how powerful it is. But I think that it's here to stay. It's coming. If you're a person that's like, no, I'm afraid of AI, don't be afraid of AI. Because it's here to stay. It's going to, I was talking to one of the eBay engineers, and she said it really well. She's like, AI is here to help you, not replace you.
Exactly.
And I think that's the way we all need to look at it. And I mean, I use it all the time. I use ChatGPT for, dumb things like, hey, what do I title this email? Like I'm tired of thinking. It's, whatever it is.
Right. But what caught my attention, Teresa, is they're announcing better AI, but they didn't have a demo. All right. And then the presentation was obviously generated by AI that repeated the same word automatically. That's what I was talking about. So it was interesting for me. Imagine if I come to an event and I say, hi, so here's this perfectly. We're going to give you better AI. Thank you, everybody. Okay, bye. It's like,
I like what Tammy says. Tammy says AI is my employee. Your employee,
exactly,
which is even better.
I love it.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. No, AI is going to replace people that don't embrace AI. AI is here to stay. It's not going to go there. But come on, you don't want AI, but then your car has AI. Even your blender, your washer, everything, your refrigerator, everything is coming with AI now. Even if it doesn't have a screen, they put AI on a chip, so the performance. I'm talking about with hardware, like a refrigerator, so it can, you know how you do all those save electricity, all that stuff. That's AI. So just to put it out there.
So I know it's 1:15, but do you want to talk to Cheryl or somebody, see how they thought it went?
Yes, please.
Miss Cheryl, come on over.
We're never short of time for Yaya Randos in the house. How you doing, my love?
And well, they've basically said everything. So I'll have to come up with something new.
But tell me, what are you most excited? Oh, to everybody, this is Yaya Rambo. She has an incredible eBay meetup on Florida, which I'm so sorry.
Tampa.
Tampa.
In Tampa, Florida. Okay, thank you, my love. I get confused. You and Desiree, and there is so many other ones. So
Lori.
what was your favorite moment besides the party? I know it, and the pool, and the beautiful drinks you were having on the pool. But what was your favorite eBay moment?
Oh, crap. Honestly,
Admit it was the Backstreet Boys.
it really was. Can I just say, it really was not. Sorry. No, it was my favorite moment and my least favorite moment are the same one. It was when they announced Griff was retiring. And then some of us got to be up on stage afterwards for the final excited.
That was scary.
They told us not to jump. Thank
she and
God.
I jumped.
I was standing where I could see the teleprompter, and I saw blah 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 blah. Confetti was coming, and I thought, "Don't jump, don't jump, jump."
We still jumped,
and I was standing right next to Griff, so hopefully nobody noticed too badly. But that's probably one of my favorite times that no one has mentioned yet, so I have to steal that one.
So Griff. So anyone here who's not a long-term eBay person, Griff started. He was employee number 6.
6.
And he's been there since the very beginning. He did eBay radio. He had a podcast. He's been
God, he's done everything.
A staple. Clara was on the podcast. And he was.
Here's Griff. Oh.
And there he is.
Yeah.
And he was great. And he was a lovely guy and a curmudgeon, but in the best kind of way of being a curmudgeon.
Those where all the bodies are buried.
And he was really great. And it was, sad. He got a little verklempt a few times.
I love the flowers they gave him.
And
he gave them away, I heard, after it was over.
Because he's a good gentleman.
And he was really sweet, and he kept getting verklempt. And I was sitting next to Vicky. I was in front of Cheryl, but I was sitting next to Vicky and Michael Swope. And
we were all.
And then he's getting verklempt, and I'm sitting there, and I look at Vic. She's crying, and then I look like this. Michael Swope was crying. I look at she's crying. I'm like, what the hell, man? The guy's not dead. He's just retiring.
It was 5 minutes after puppies. We were already verklempt.
They were all verklempt. But it was nice. It was very sweet.
Yeah. My other favorite, besides all the things they talked about, I got a chance to talk to some lovely eBay employees. And just, they were so nice. I didn't meet anybody that was a poopy head. Can we say that?
Nice.
They were all very nice, very helpful. They had these things where you had to scan your code so you could connect. I can't tell you how many of the eBay employees I had to teach how to use their own scanner.
Yeah.
The website, love you, eBay, but your app was a little glitchy, just saying.
That app, yes. Don't get me started. The virtual was, it was awful, guys.
I heard it shut off.
Everybody would come that came to the booth. They're like, Clara, we just like to tell you, if you could please tell eBay the virtual is bad. This doesn't work, okay? Video quality is horrible, and we want to be here, all of us, with you like we did last year. So I think that thank you for bringing that up, because not only the application, the software used on the in-person event was bad, but also the applications that they were done for desktop and mobile, all of them were glitches. One of the interesting parts was that when I got to tech support, I have screenshots. They told me, what do you want? This is a free application.
To work, maybe?
And I took a screenshot of this, and I was like, really? So this is a free application, okay? So why did I pay to be a sponsor anyways? So that was just, interesting, but yeah.
I met a very lovely eBay employee as we were going back to our hotel last night. Very lovely. I tried to hook him up with Kaomi, but I'll tell you that story later. Anyway, he said,
I love you, Kaomi.
he said to be sure and fill out the survey. that they should send us to, number one, let them know you want it again next year, not like in 5 or 10 years, and that just give them all your suggestions. So praise them as much as possible, and then tell them what you thought and what you want.
I love it. Great strategy by Yaya Rumbles.
No, that came from the employee guy.
That came from eBay. So I thought it was really great. I thought that, Cheryl, for those of you that don't know, goes to everything.
I'm shy.
So she goes to everything, knows everybody. And so it was great. You really seemed to have a fun time.
I did. I had a good time. I did go to a lot of the
Workshops?
sessions.
Yeah.
Yes, those things. The second day, just a couple the first day, but I did. I went, I seem to be in room 4 all
Yeah,
day.
I know. Me too. I did that a lot in room 4.
Yeah. But
Hey, so I'm going to have Vic come over real quick.
please.
Is that okay? Vicky,
Thank you, Yaya. Love you, mi amor. Vic. Congratulations, Victoria, Ian, LB Pink Peacock. Oh, no, wait. Are you KDM? Is your store still LB Pink Peacock? Oh, okay. I got it right. Congrats, dear friend. Again, I heard everybody. Congrats. I heard so many good things about your speech.
Thank you.
So how did it feel?
I've done a lot of public speaking in my life. I've been on TV a bunch and stuff like that, but I was incredibly nervous.
Really?
It's something about speaking in front of a room of your peers was nerve-wracking for me. I was sick to my stomach the whole day beforehand.
Oh my love.
I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep the night before. I don't know why I was so nervous, honestly. I have no problem talking to people. Clearly, anybody that knows me knows you can't shut me the heck up. But I was so nervous. And part of it, I think, was because it was unscripted. We didn't rehearse it. We didn't have a deck. It was just, here's your microphone for 15 minutes. And
that's interesting because they used to be so scripted.
They are on the sessions, the seller sessions where you go into the panels in the different rooms, the breakout sessions, because they weren't even allowed to choose their topics. They were given topics this year. This year was the first year that they did it that way.
Wow.
They chose the speakers. They paired them up, their choices, who got, speaking with who, because everybody did it as a twofer. And then they assigned them their topics. Right. So a lot of them had to create topics around stuff they were like, I don't even really want to do this, or I don't really talk about it. But so I chose my topic. So that part was at least easier. And then the interview, I did an interview with Rebecca. That's what, if you were virtual, you were probably able to see that with Michael Swope and I. And that was fun, but that was easy. I was sitting at a desk. Someone else was asking me the questions. I was completely calm and relaxed for that one.
Not the first one.
The first one, I was a wreck.
Oh,
but I think it was fine.
No, it went really well. I
saw the videos from other resellers, and I saw it from different angles.
Yeah.
So no, you did it, like I said, like you were like a duck, like calm, above, and then your little feet were like moving fast.
If you knew me well, I think you knew I was nervous.
Yeah,
but if you didn't know me well, I don't think it came across as I was nervous. But I still don't know what I said. I'm going to have to watch it. I really had blanked out. I have no idea what I said, but I think I hit all the points I wanted to hit. Anyway, it was fun. There were a lot of people that were there because it was the only thing that was open at the time when I did my talk.
That isn't why. Shut up. Sometimes she got a very large crowd.
I heard.
You got a large crowd. It was really good.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So what I did enjoy, not to make this about me, but I'm going to for 1 second. What I did enjoy was she got a microphone, right? And so people were standing there. She gets a microphone. I do one the next day in almost the same area. We don't get microphones, and I am screaming like a banshee.
They did not set that. That's the fair thing. They did the community area where they were having people do like little breakout sessions and conversations. They had a whole schedule and everything. And Trish was one of them. And Lori, I think Lori did one as well. And it was lovely, but there were way too many people, not way too many. There were more people interested in these sessions than they expected.
Yeah.
They thought it was going to be, 3 to 4 people, and they'd sit at one of these little tables and they would just chit chat. But every time someone was speaking,
all these people came,
especially when it was Trish and Susie and Crystal all together, there was a large group of people that wanted to
Oh, they
hear
thought
that.
it would be like Posh Fest, that there is very little, sometimes.
We're
Yes.
screaming.
And it's in the middle of the expo hall, and there's music playing overhead, and there's all the vendors and all the people. It was so loud.
No, I just wanted you to know, at least you had a microphone.
I know
baby.
she totally needed it. And Valerie did feel bad because she said,
it was fine.
She said if they do this type of thing again, now she knows that setup doesn't work correct.
Yeah, it was fine. I just thought it was funny because you were so nervous, but you did great. You did great.
Well, thank you.
And I thought, so tell me what did you get out of this specifically?
Yeah.
I love every seller event, right? I'm like Cheryl. Except I haven't gone to Posh Fest yet. I am going.
Ooh, there you have it. Come on, Vicky. Wow.
You know what I am,
How do you guys understand how many years
She
she
won't
told
say
me I will never sell in Poshmark, okay?
I know.
And then she opened her Poshmark closet. She closed it. She opened, she closed it. Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be epic. We're going to stay tuned for when we tell you Posh Fest is around the corner. And here you have it. LB Pink Peacock, Vicky Silverberg going to Posh Fest in California. Let's do this, friend. Oh my
All right.
God.
To be fair, my daughter lives in the next town, so that might have had something to do with it.
You are super biased.
But I'm going. Yeah, it's gonna be what I got. I like seller events. Like I said, I like all of them. I love our event. I loved, Camp Listing Party. I love every eBay Open. The first time I came to eBay Open was 2016. I didn't know anybody. That was the year I met Theresa. I knew one person that I had come with that year, and I was like, I'm not a joiner. Why am I going to this thing? I don't like, just because I sell online doesn't mean these people are my friends. I have friends. I'm good.
I don't need new friends.
I don't need
friends.
And I know it's true. And then I went in 2016. I was like,
your friend.
and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And I have not missed one since. And I realized why everybody loves these so much, because I'm a very outgoing person. I'll talk to a wall. I talk to every single person. I had a great time. The social aspect for me was the best part this year. Being a part of the event itself was a great part. I've done stuff in the past, with the virtual, but this is the first time I was asked to do anything officially by eBay. And I was very happy to have been asked. Seeing people, meeting people I hadn't met before. I wouldn't say I probably didn't learn a heck of a lot.
Oh, I wish you had gone to that Google session.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it for sure.
You guys tried to get it. You guys missed it. But I recorded it, the whole thing. And
that's the only one I really missed.
Yeah.
I'm sad I missed, but I am going to be listening to it.
Yeah, it was really interesting and good. And I do think eBay does dumb down this some of the information a little, like the shipping information was very basic. But do you think new sellers are there?
Yeah.
You
There's
do?
some.
One lady I talked to for a long time had only been selling for 4 months.
Teresa just said one woman she was speaking to has only been selling for 4 months.
Wow.
And actually, Pam and I, the Pams and I, we sat down and had lunch with this lovely couple who had only been selling for 8 months.
Yeah. So
Wait till you hear this though. They have a machine and they refill fire extinguishers. And he said that he's been doing it for years. He sells them locally, sells them, he's in Idaho. And he said last week he sold 13,000. He said I should have been doing eBay a long time ago.
A long time ago. Didn't we all say that? I think that's the story of every reseller, after you realize, that, okay, what am I going to do? No 401k, no medical insurance. I need a paycheck. And then you're like, I should have been selling way earlier, maybe part-time hobby, but any possible way. They're telling you, thank you for saying what was scripted and unscripted, Vicky.
I think it makes a difference in interpreting what the sessions were. And like Trish said, it does teach to new sellers. The majority of it there is for new sellers. And but that's always been the case with eBay. That was why when we started the Boss Reseller Remix, we wanted
Oh,
Right.
more elevated content.
Lori, thank you for bringing this up, Lori.
Oh,
This was
Mind blowing.
mind blowing. So at the end, okay, so they had a scripted thing, and at the end, they took questions, and I do not think the questions are recorded. I believe only the scripted part is recorded, right?
Right,
And
right.
at the end, this guy stood up and he asked about getting seen in search, and that there was a difference, blah blah blah. And they said something in calculated. He goes, "Well, I use calculated shipping," and the Google lady just went like this, and the guy goes, "Don't use calculated shipping."
Dun, 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 dun.
He goes, "You're never going to be found on Google if you use calculated shipping. We can't index it."
So
That's a mic
You've got to
drop.
come over here if you want to say this.
So this is it. This is the other part of the
Yay.
takeaway about Google Images is anybody that has been on any listing party or Pat's calls knows that this is a hill I will die on. And I asked eBay shipping because
Right.
for years they say calculated shipping is meant for large and heavy items. And so I asked her about what about, Poshmark sellers that's a thing for them. She's like, no, she didn't talk about the indexing. She just said, you need to not be using calculated shipping for everyday items.
Yep.
Right. Wow.
Not being found on Google.
Ooh, there you go. There
Thank
you have it.
Thank you, Lori. I forgot.
That's a big point. So if you do not use business policies, you better figure out how.
Yep.
I'll do a list.
All right.
Theresa just said she'll do a listing party about business.
I've been using business policies for almost
Oh
9
my God. I can't imagine not using business policies.
I know,
When
I agree.
People, no, I'll do it. Imagine doing every single listing, scrolling, choosing, clicking. No way. No, not for me. Not for me. But one thing I want to say, okay, this is one thing that us, Amanda and myself, we launched, and just to close this up, unless you want to add something, I want to talk about Listing Assistant.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So one of the things we prepare as a birthday present for eBay, we have officially launched, myself and Amanda, all right, a new company, and here it is, it's official, Listing Assistant. This is not to be confused with the Listing Assistant in List Perfectly. So here we will address this. This one will not require credit card. I will have truly free listings. But what is interesting, what we did is I always heard a lot, I love eBay, this is dedicated just for you eBay sellers. So I'm going to click on the demo.
Listing
Something
Assistant,
exciting.
the fastest and easiest way to create complete optimized eBay listings from just photos. With Listing Assistant, you can list directly inside eBay. No jumping between apps, no juggling tabs, and no wasting time uploading or downloading images. Everything happens instantly and seamlessly in the same eBay workflow you already know. Open any eBay listing, active, sold, draft, scheduled, or sell similar, and Listing Assistant will instantly detect up to 24 images already in eBay. You can then pick any of those images in any order for Listing Assistant to analyze. From your selected photos, we create complete optimized titles, descriptions, item specifics, and more, all formatted based on our research into how buyers shop and how sellers sell more. Now you can accept, make quick edits, or regenerate the listing, all without ever leaving eBay. Once you're happy, you're ready to publish your listing and move on to creating the next listing. Fast, flexible, and built to save you time. That's the power of Listing Assistant. AI trained to think like a reseller, just like you.
All right. So, yay. That's officially this could be our fourth business that we created with Amanda. So I'm really, really excited to introduce. Many times we heard, hey, I would use List Perfectly, but I only sell on eBay. There you have it. Okay. So we built it specifically. You don't leave eBay. That's it. You don't have to list on a third party application. You don't want the bells and whistles of List Perfectly. There you have it, Listing Assistant. So I just thought I could share that we're very, very, very happy to release this new project to support eBay sellers.
It's going to be awesome. I think that, if you are somebody who is only eBay specific and you do not cross list and you do not need other things, and or at this moment you don't think you need other things, because if you grow, I think List Perfectly will absolutely help you in the long run. But if you're somebody who is eBay specific, that Listing Assistant is absolutely going to be game changing for you. And we absolutely know that our technology then allows eBay to piggyback off of it a little. And so you get a really robust listing, and that is optimized, and, listing assistance, listing specifics. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. They're all filled out, so it's really great. It does great titles, great descriptions. And so it's really great.
Thank you.
I saw the comment. I think that's amazing. And I think it's going to be great for people that, like you said, want a stripped down version. Listen, we all know, let's talk about me or Katie. Those of us that were very hard to swing to start listing within List Perfectly. It took me a long time to do it. I do it now exclusively. However, it took me a long time. I was always just a native eBay lister. I used Perfectly as just a cross-posting tool. I know it's so much more than that, but it took me a long time to get there. If I hadn't made that swing and I was still dead set on just listing on eBay,
this would be perfect.
This would be perfect.
Exactly.
Still just list just on eBay.
Yep.
Does not take advantage of the List Perfectly catalog and a lot of that stuff. It's just the way she is. She wants her things the way she wants them.
Exactly.
But this allows you to do that, to use the stripped down version if that's all you need and all you want.
Absolutely.
I
wanted to just talk one quick question. Tiffany right above had a comment. It was a very good comment, and it's right. Okay. I heard the same thing, Tiffany. We all had the opportunity to meet with at the seller clinic and meet with someone to review our accounts and find any pain points in our listings. And this was one of the things they said.
Yes. Well, that's why I'm having such a big influx of Amazon sellers. Oh, I cannot even tell you. Oh, that's why I sell in Amazon. I need to start selling on eBay. It's been a rain. We have to literally do onboarding specific for Amazon sellers. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate it.
Yes, it's your offsite promotion tools are actually going to be more effective now than they probably were before. So if you used them before and it didn't really work for you, it's worth trying again. I was told don't do it for more than 3 weeks. You'll know at the end of the 3 weeks if it's working or not, and it's worth it. And it's not going to be worth it for everyone. However, because Google is not what did her comment say? Sorry, I can't see it now.
I'm sorry.
Words. Sorry. Google is not indexing or showing.
Yep. It's not indexing
or things. So it makes you're going to get more money out of offsite promotions than maybe you had in the past. If you haven't tried it or you tried it before and it didn't work, it's worth giving it another shot.
And I talked to a guy at Offsite Promotions, and he told me that if you have multi-quantity, that you should absolutely do it.
Yeah.
That it should be, if you have multi-quantity, he thinks that there's no gray area, that this is just, you should be doing
yes.
And so I immediately thought of like Desiree, somebody who has some kind of replenishables, things that people are buying, and that she has multiples of. I immediately thought of Desiree, that she should be trying it. Yeah. So.
And 6 months ago, a lot of the verbiage coming from eBay was that offsite promotions are not necessarily going to work for everyone, especially those of us that have one-off items. It wasn't going to be well worth it unless you were a niched store, niched products, or you were doing replenishables. So this may be something a little bit different right now. That's why I'm willing to try it again. Yeah. I am going to try it again. I've tried it once before. It was not successful for all those reasons. But
so we'll see.
We'll see how it works.
We shall see.
That's it. That's all I got. I'm tired. I can go
on. Well, I want to thank you both so much. You gave so much to our community, and thank you for the support to not only our community, to List Perfectly, to everybody on eBay. Thank you so much. Like I said, we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you, everybody at home watching.
Everyone wave. Hold on. Everyone's going to wave.
Thank you, T-Money. Thank you to the List Perfectly community. Thank you, Katie. There she is. The pom-poms. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you at Listing Party, and have a great weekend. Many sales. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for next Friday.